Sir, can you tell us a bit about Engineer ODEBUNMI? I know that you're an engineer, and I'm wondering what made you choose that at the time you did and not another profession?
Well, to be honest, the engineering that I am today was decided for me by my dad. He wanted me to be an engineer. I wanted to be a medical doctor. But at that time, he had a construction company. He had an engineering firm. And he had probably identified that I could be a good material to finish up where he drops the baton. So he wanted to encourage me to do engineering. And he did that. And at a younger age, at our time, the dad was the almighty God. If he says, sit down there, even if he's not around, you cannot stand up there. Our mothers can only chip in one or two words. So, since it was his choice that I should study engineering, I went for it. When I went in there, I discovered that I need to go to a certain minimum level in engineering for engineering to be meaningful to my life. So I went all that far to the master's level. And I did civil engineering from the Ibadan Polytechnic and the Polytechnic Ibadan. Then I went to University of Lagos to capital with BSc Civil Engineering too, before I went to do my master's in LASU. But I joined OPIC early at its inception in 1984, and I rose through the ranks throughout my years in OPIC to become the managing director and chief executive of OPIC. I can say I contributed my humble quota towards the development of the establishment under the able leadership of Chief Olawale Oteshile of blessed memory. Because no matter how much in engineering I understood, if he didn't teach me or I didn't grasp the administration aspect of organizing a corporate body, I would probably not have gotten to the level of the managing director. I would just be maybe chief engineer or head of engineering. If they don't see leadership qualities in administration in you, they won't push you to that kind of level. So I'm grateful to him. It's gone now, but his memory lingers on. We can't forget what he taught us. So after that, I served my term. I was MD of OPIC for 8-9 years before, during the tenure of His Excellency Otunba Gbenga Daniel, I was invited to the main bowl of the civil service as a permanent secretary. And I served as permanent secretary in the governor's office for 8 years before I retired in 2015. Well, along the line, I served 5 governors. Served with Moi, served with Oshoba, served with Daniel, I served with Amusun. But I was able to manage them all and also manage my work in a way that we didn't rub shoulders, or I didn't step on any rough toes, or I didn't step on anybody's toes that could get offensive. Also along the line, one of them identified that I could have an opportunity and a better managerial skill if I'm sponsored to the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru. So he gave me the opportunity in year 2014 as a permanent secretary. So I attended that course, 36, of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. And what I garnered, or what I added to the little that I have, has been able to push me through life. And I assume that my current appointment as the chairman of the Civil Service Commission must have been informed by the additional knowledge that I gathered from National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. And I'm grateful to all the 5 governors that I worked with. And there's no how we have a perfect scenario. We had our differences. I knew when to say, Oga, no, I cannot do this one. And I knew when to say, okay, sir, I'll go and see how we can work out your desire with what the law says. And I was able to sail through with all of them. I didn't have any issues with any of them throughout my tenure, both at OPIC and as a permanent secretary. And I'm grateful to God for that wisdom.
Can you tell us a bit about your growing up years? Where were you born and where did you grow?
Well, I was born by accident in the United Kingdom. My parents went to school. And out of all my siblings, I was the only person born abroad. my own birth was just coincidental with when they were in school in the United Kingdom. So I was born in Manchester, precisely, in 1955. And at that time, fosters were claiming children in the UK. So my mom was very scared. She sent me back into Nigeria when I was 6 months old, because the foster that she had, who was like a carer in the house, who was always taking care of them, fell in love with me. And each time she wanted to go on a day off, she'd be asking for permission to take me along to her own home. And my mother was scared. You are not even saying that you come and spend your off with me so that you can have a chance with the child. You want to take the child to your home? So my mom just felt that, no, I must send this back. So she sent me to her sister, of blessed memory now, Mrs. Ojikotola, Grace Olaito Ojikotola. So growing up, I grew up with her. I didn't even know I had another mother. By the time my mother came back from the UK, and it was time for me to go back home, I told her, no, I don't know. I don't know any other family than this is my mother. And she brought me up. Whatever I made up today, she taught me. Taught me industry. She taught me perseverance. She taught me honesty. She taught me that I must learn how to earn money before I can learn how to spend money. So as young as I was, she was a comfortable person. As young as I was at that time, she made sure I was a street hawker, learning how to make money. And it was a percentage of whatever I made from the sales the previous day that would determine the percentage of my allowance, lunch allowance that I would take to the primary school level. And that taught me to know that, look, boy, you have to wake up. So in the process of trying to wake up, I was struggling to look for any strategy to sell 100%. So I created credit facilities for those who wanted to buy provisions. I was hawking provisions, wanted to buy provisions. So I would drop at somebody's house, number 7, on credit. On the 7th of this following month, that's when I would pick up the money. So I started thinking, I can't be giving them the same price that the person that is buying on a daily basis. So I did some little markup on the credit level, and I was making extra kobo, and which I declared at home. And she was very happy with me. And I was rascally. I also wanted to create time to play football. So if I took the stuff from home and I went straight to its destination for that particular day, and I dropped it. I didn't need to. I would just collect the outstanding for the previous month, and then I'm off to LDB by Adeboale Electrical and Tinubu Square to go and play football. I was living off Nnamdi Azikiwe Street, 42 Akoni Street. That's very close to the Central Mosque at Nnamdi Azikiwe Street and Nnamdi Azikiwe Road now. And I grew up there. My primary school was at UNA, United Native African Church, by BOAC, by Central Bank. I had my primary education there. From there, I went to Babs Academy for my secondary education. From there, I went to Comprehensive High School at Itoro to finish all my secondary education before going to the Polytechnic Ibadan to study civil engineering, OND and HND. After that, I came to serve in Ogun State, and then I joined the Ministry of Works. It was at Ministry of Works I identified that I needed to top up that HND certificate that I had. So I went back to the University of Lagos to go and acquire a BSc in civil engineering to just crown the efforts. Then I was ready to work. By the time I came back from University of Lagos, I joined OPIC in 1984. And by the grace of God, the rest is history.
Tell us about your love for football, sir. I noticed when you called me, you said that's your club playing. I saw it on your face marks too, that's your Man U fan. Tell us about it.
Well, my love for football as a child is different from my love for football now. My love for football as a child was to participate. But my love for football now is to observe it, enjoy those that are paid to play football, stress themselves while I enjoy the game football. So, but football is a very unique sport that is universally accepted all over the world, and it's a very entertaining game. I love it, but I cannot consider myself going to play football. I know if I strain myself and I break any bone now, it will take much longer time to heal than if I broke the bone when I was younger. So I'd rather be careful and just stay within the limit of playing golf or playing some other softer games that
Why Man
I
U?
can play.
Why Man U?
Well, I was born in Manchester.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So my love for Manchester United, and you know at that time Manchester was Manchester. And it's now you now have Manchester City, different from Manchester United. Manchester United was not in Manchester at that time. It was in the UK. It was in London, but they came to represent Manchester as a town, and they are playing there now. Until later, they formed another team that is originated from the city. And today, Manchester United is a known name, it's a household name in football all over the world.